friends, Heidi here from Rain Country Homestead. God is good all the time. Today I'm going to be picking some ground cherries, or gathering ground cherries rather, and then making some ground cherry apple butter with those. So mostly what today is about, I just want to show you what a ground cherry is and how to gather them and what I'm going to do with them. So maybe in a future video I'll hopefully do one of me canning on my wood stove, because I have yet to actually can on the wood stove, but today I'll be canning the apple butter outside. So I'll just show you at least some of the process of what I'm doing today. And anyway, let's get started. Alright, I've already started gathering some, and if you've never grown ground cherries, I mean, I never heard of them until I watched a video by Esther on Fauchematic, and she was talking about growing ground cherries, and she was trying it for her first time, and I thought, ground cherries, that's interesting. So I looked into them and decided I'd give them a try, and I had no idea, especially in our area, that they would do so well. I've been getting tons and tons and tons of ground cherries off of here. Just, I come out here, you'll see a lot of these, some of these that are just the husks that I've tossed down, because I'll come through and just snack on them when I don't have time to just really get in and collect them like I'm doing now. But they're called ground cherries because when they're ready, they fall to the ground. That's how you know. And they take on a more yellow look. Now some of the ones I find are, the husks are still a bit green. Now see, that's still green on the inside, but I'll still use it for the apple butter. But some of these, usually when they're like that, yeah, see, this one's already split. I'll rinse it off and use it. This one's starting to split, and I've noticed that they're, but I haven't been out here. Here's a real nice one. I haven't been out here in several days to collect these, because I keep meaning to and wanting to, but I simply have not had the time. And it's been so busy. And this still has tons more. I mean, I don't know if your camera's picking all this up. This thing is just heavy with them. Can you see all that in there? So I'm just going to keep working my way down. I'm surprised there's not a lot more on the ground, but I'm guessing that's because it hasn't been super duper nice. When it's sunny, I notice I get a lot more falling to the ground. But when it's cloudy like it is now, we're not getting a lot of sun. It just seems to hang on to them. So it's hard to say whether or not these will all get ripe in time. And since this is my first year growing them, I don't really know what to expect, but we'll find out. I mean, I've been getting tons, and I'm happy with what I've had so far. And I really am pleased with the ground cherry apple butter. I thought I'd show you where I'm at so far. I've got my colander filled that far, and I've only gone through just about 3 of my bushes, maybe 4. And I mean, that may not seem like a lot compared to how much is hanging off of those plants, but I still have a bunch more down here, and then all out in the main garden to go through. And my goal is to just fill this basket up for now, and that's what I'll use in the apple butter for today. Ground cherry apple butter with coconut sugar is what I've been using in it, and it's just, I'm finding out it's fabulous. Add a little bit of homemade vanilla extract. So anyway, I'm going to keep going, and I'll come back when I get a little bit more here. Well, I'm at the end of my row on this outside edge of the garden, of the main garden, and I already have plenty for what I need for today. So I'll probably, after I finish gathering up right here, This is the last plant in the row. Then I'm probably just gonna call it good because this basket's pretty full, and then I still gotta take all the husks off these, and then I'm gonna process them and throw them in with the apples I already have cooking. So there you go. All right, so I have a pretty good sized basket full, as you can see. I still have a lot more ground cherries in here and over here that I can collect, but I'm gonna wait and see what I get after I husk all these. And then probably come out later today because I really have a lot of other chores. I got to get my clothes hung up, and I need to get this, this cooking. But I do need to keep up on those ground cherries. So I'll probably come out later today and see if I can gather up some more. And the nice thing about these is that as long as you leave them in the husk, they'll be good for a little while. And but I'm going to try to use all these up today. And this is what they look like when they're just at the perfect amount of ripeness. And some people equate them to the taste of a pineapple, or a cross between a pineapple and tomato, which I know sounds really gross. But I only really taste the pineapple when they're really, really ripe, and the tomato when they're more on the green side. Somewhere in the middle is when I actually like the flavor of them the best, and I can't describe it. I would say maybe sort of tropical, very mild, and is sweet, and that somewhere middle ground where it's just got that little bit of tartness. Oh, they're so good. And I usually spend a lot of time, when I come through the garden, I'll just gather some as I'm going and just snack on them and through the day. So anyway, there's that. I'm gonna go inside and start taking all the husks off these and get going on that bud. All right, so you can see here I've got my basket of ground cherries, and I'm getting ready to husk them. So I'm gonna get to that, and I'll just show you a bit of the process. They're gonna go in my little hand crank food processor, and the husks I'm throwing in here with the apple pieces. And no, I'm not making vinegar out of this because I have a lot of apple cider vinegar going right now. This is just going to go right into the compost, so it's still going to get used. So all right, I'm going to get started on this. Here in the living room, and you can see my dog Cody, Biscotti, is enjoying the warmth in front of the fireplace, the wood stove. And that's what my wood stove looks like. I'm not going to show you my whole kitchen-y setup in here right now because I don't want to get this to get too long. I'm just going to show you briefly that, I have 2 clotheslines right there that go all the way across, and I'll show you more of that in another video. And then I've got my apple butter, my ground cherry apple butter cooking, and oops, I forgot again to turn on my light. See right here, I've got a LED light strip. I turn that on, that way I can look in there and see how things are going. That's cooking real nice. And then I've got space back here. You see that grill? It's a little dirty. I need to get back there and clean it again. That's usually where I bake stuff. Enchiladas, casseroles, and whatnot, roasts and stuff. They sit back there all day and bake. And I'm going to be putting some soup that I made yesterday back there to heat up later for dinner tonight. And I got to make some bread to go with it. And then I have a perpetual pot of water always sitting there. So I've always got some hot water. And when I'm ready to do the dishes, I take that pot and I go dump it in the sink and add some cold water, and there's my dishwater. And that has been many times also been used for taking quote unquote shower. I keep a stock pot in the bathroom there, and I set that stock pot in the tub. And I add the hot water, and then add some cold water, and then I use a cup, and that's oftentimes how I'll clean myself up. Even though we have city water and we have a regular shower, I'll do that to stay practiced, because we get power outages and stuff, and I like to just keep trying to live as frugal and off grid as I can, even though we're still on the grid at this point, to prepare myself for, not only just to save money now, but to also prepare myself for being in a position of not having any power, whether it be getting that cabin that we're thinking about out on 20-acre piece and going completely off grid, or having to stay where we're at, and maybe things are just financially tight and we need to live this way. So there you have it. This was mostly supposed to be about the ground cherries and what I was doing with them today, and just a quick little show of my kitchen, and my quote-unquote wintertime living room kitchen, off-grid kitchen. So I'll show you more of that in another video, so stay tuned for that later on. And thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.